Four Beardsmen of the Bookpocalypse.
There it is. Our guy, DB Rook, his buddy, his band, did a wonderful little snippet before we started this podcast. And I think that was so cool what he did with the ho, ho, ho at the end, man.
I love it.
You know, wasn't Santa?
It might have been. He's supposed to visit my house in a couple days, so I'll chat with him then.
I didn't actually find out if it was the real one or not, but let's just say it is. Yeah.
We'll put that in the description later on when we have the sources confirmed. Man, thank you guys for being here. I'm always so excited when we kind of plan these things because I like to do live so much, but it's like with three other of these friends that I've made that I just really like doing stuff with you guys. It's really fun. So we're here, guys, and we're going to introduce ourselves, starting with this guy.
There you go.
I'm Tom Bookbeard, and I review books, and I've got some books coming out next year.
Amazing.
Can't wait. My name is David List. I wrote Violence and Vigilance most recently, and I am working on the sequel not as we speak, but...
And I am DB Rook, author of The Wayward World Chronicles, and today I'm Santa's Wayward Elf. Hey.
All right, Matt, come on. Represent.
There it is.
It's out of reach over there.
Hold on.
I'm so prepared.
Cool bookmark. And everything,
nice.
Man.
Yeah, it's good.
My name's Matt, aka Beard of Darkness, and I review books when I have time, and mostly lately just having a place for authors I get to ask questions, and a place where authors can talk about their work.
So you do a good job.
Oh, well, thank you, man.
You kill it.
You were one of the first. I think you were like my second interview ever, man. So
my first.
You practically interviewed the entire community now. You've had to loop back around.
Seriously, it's almost time for me to come back.
Yeah. It is. It is very much so. But yeah, dude, there's so many people, and not only that, there's so many people that I've talked with that I'm gonna have back. But we left our last little escapade with John. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but there he is. He was the third. I'm so sorry, my man.
Yeah, brother, you don't want to miss this, John.
And we're gonna do our follow up to his question, which is. Tom, would you repeat it for the world?
If you could fight any character or author in a cage match, who would it be?
And would you win, right? And that's also part of it, right? All right. Tom.
Oh, why did you pick me first?
Because you were the first here.
Really how it goes. The way that I put these guys on the screen is random, and it just that's how it is.
Spoiler alert, it's not random. Okay. Now, I might not win, but I'd like to find out. It's another Tom Bombadil.
Oh, shit.
The reason being, Tom Bombadil, this being a phenomenal cosmic natural power, but you never actually see it in any of the books.
This is true.
So I want to see what's going on. And I reckon I'd be on top. Maybe I'd have him in an arm lock or something, and that's when he would just go ape shit and unleash full Gaia, and it would be one hell of a game, man.
But can you honestly say that you want to beat up a guy named Tom Bombadil? I mean, that guy just is just kind of soft.
He's like the ultimate hippie.
Singing and fight like a man.
Stop singing. This is for the songs, bitch.
Yeah, there it is.
He's skipping around the ring. What ho, merry do, ring a dong a dillo.
I would want to punch him.
Right. After a while, at least.
Oh, yeah, pretty quickly, to be honest. All right, is it my turn? Okay.
Tis.
So all I was thought about was authors. And first I was thinking, who's the tiniest, frailest author? But then I was like, that wouldn't be a good fight, and I'd feel like an asshole, then I'd be a bad guy. So then I was like, well, who's the biggest? Who could kill me? And One of your previous interviews came to mind. Nick Horvath came to mind.
There he is.
That'd be a bloodbath, not in my favor, but entertaining. Couple more folks came to mind.
I don't think it would be entertaining seeing either one of you get beat up.
He'd murder me, dude. I think he is led.
Choice.
Okay, so what I came to was a guy, an author. He's not alive anymore, but I would find him at his peak just so it'd be a good fight. This author, he's a fantasy author, but he doesn't write fantasy fiction. What he writes transcends fantasy fiction, and he has improved the whole genre. His name is Terry Goodkind. Maybe you've heard of him. He's from what I understand, a grade A dick.
That's what I hear too.
Designer, rude to the whole genre, and apparently his writing outs him as a piece of shit. So
let's beat his ass.
So on Wikipedia, I was looking him up a little bit. Apparently, in 1983, Goodkind moved with his wife Jerry to a house he built in Maine. I don't know if he personally built it, but I'll take the one who built the house. That's the one that's the age and the physique that I'll fight him at. I'll fight Terry Goodkind.
All of a sudden, I have this urge to slap the shit out of Terry Goodkind.
I was going to tell you some quotes of his. There's so many. He's a fucking douche.
That's what I hear. I first heard that through Daniel Green. He's like, man, I will never cover this guy. I'm going to speak on a book, but he is a grade A douchebag.
Like publicly encouraged his followers to rip on this cover art that was made by a great artist at the specific request of his publishing company, surely. You know, the guy just did what he was told and made some art, and then Terry gets online like, look at this piece of shit on his own book. Look at this art. What would y'all call this? Everybody gang up on this guy with me. This will be fun or whatever.
Heard stories in the let's see the comments if you heard any other awful things.
Yeah. Educated.
So DB Rook.
Yeah, so I went on a similar journey to you, David. I kind of forgot about the characters. I was just thinking authors. So I kind of thought, who's the most meanest looking guy? I very nearly picked Nick.
Yeah, he's huge.
So my tactics are, if I'm going into the cage, I'm 46, I'm tired, I'm going to get beat. So at least hope that I would be remembered for my bravery. So I was going to pick Chris G. Brenning of King fame.
Hellborn King.
He was almost on the show, but never made it. Is that right?
We are currently rescheduling. He's a busy man.
Busy getting pumped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen some pictures lately where he's like some befores and afters. Yeah, he's shaping up, man. Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's already got the fucking.
He's got that proper WWE hair, like throw.
Yo, and his beard.
Yeah. Formidable. Yeah,
it is. It is.
So,
we'll have to tag him in this because I'm sure we'll be flattered. Is it my turn?
Down in the cage, and then you just hear, "Oh my God, that's Chris Brenning's music."
Yeah. And he like points the finger as he's coming down, like I'm coming after you. So I was like, you know, in order to have the most genuine answer for this, I have to pick somebody who I've talked with, one, and number two, who is I'm 6'5". I'm not going to pick I don't know. I don't know a especially tiny author. I guess I do, but I won't call him out because I think that might be mean. So Andy Peliquin's really tall.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He's like exactly the same height as me, 6'5".
Jeez.
I think we have similar stature, and whether or not I'd win, probably not. But I think it would be a good fight either way. I think the best man would win. So that's my answer. I think that's a fair one.
Clash of the Titans.
I like that we all pick people who could possibly destroy us. Maybe.
Yeah.
Except for Terry. Yeah. Terry's dead, so I could just kick him around.
I'll dig his ass up and kick him around a little bit.
Pee in the grave. Sorry, that might be too
I
much.
just happen to have to pee when I done it. And, you know,
Digging
things
makes
happen.
me full of pee.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that happens to most people. So, I mean, no questioning. So, John, thank you for that thought-inspiring craziness that you're so actually good at. You're really good.
Even
at
if you did forget, even if you
Yeah.
forgot you asked it, it was still good.
Yeah. So I didn't necessarily forget. I just forgot exactly what he said.
Oh, he said no in the comments. He said he forgot asking that.
Oh, he forgot. See, what I was talking about, John A. Douglas, is I forgot whether or not it was an author or a character, and I'm so glad it was either one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw up some comments real quick for the lovely people who are here because, you know, they're awesome, right?
Hey.
Timothy Wolf, man. There he is, the man Timothy Wolf, indie author. Tim McKay, indie author. Bert, who's always here. I love him. John A. Douglas, of course. That's Bert again. That's Tim again. Sorry. Joshua Walker. I love this. Those beards are bobble. Go hard, Tom. I love it.
Those are awesome.
They're real bitches to break out, though.
John did actually forget. Okay. Alex, thank you, man, for being here. Alex Valdez,
Hello,
another
Alex
is
writing a very good book called A Wolf in Space, which I'm reading at the moment. It's good. It's like if someone took Deadwood but put it in space. It's fucking cool.
It takes somebody special to pull that off. Come on. I think it's the sideburns that are working, and that gains the power for him and goes right into like the writing hand, you know?
Daryl knows about that.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful sideburns. And probably the only human being that can pull off exactly what you do, Daryl. Man, you just really got it, brother. Me, I wouldn't look right. You make it look good, brother. Book Mama, the wonderful other half. Woohoo, the beards are here. I just shouted from the rooftops of the internet, sharing to rally everyone to come join in. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so for the lovely people who are watching to be pondering, David, tell them what they should be pondering.
So we'll have another question. We thought it was such a great idea and such a great move of John's, even if John forgot it. It's okay, John. That we were going to do it again. So toward the end of the show, if something sparks your interest, it's something you want to know, you want to hear a question you want to hear us answer, have that ready for us by the end of the show. And then as we wrap up, we'll take some questions, and the best one or ones that we agree on, we will answer next episode.
We'll stroke our beards between
and pontificate.
Pontificate.
Not too much stroking for Tom today, or else he may lose a bauble.
Do they light up, Tom?
Oh man,
Next year.
Next year.
Matt, speaking of that, it looks like you have 4 great ideas right now.
That's good. I like that. I do often never have that many ideas at once. It's funny because I forgot that I wear these. I don't know how I forgot that. And I got a hat, kind of like yours and DB Rook's, except it was an elf hat. And I thought because I'm really tall, that would be hilarious, right? And I had it on, and I'm just like, oh, my damn headphones don't fit. My son got this for him. And I said, you know what? Daddy's going to borrow that shit tonight. And so it worked out.
My hat is not going to survive. I'm going to start like forgetting random events of my life soon. I've got such a crushing.
Mine's pretty chill. I'm okay with mine. I'm just sweating.
I was going to say, so for those who don't know, David's in Georgia. And if you've ever felt the Georgia heat, God, yeah.
It's 61 degrees fair American right now, which translates to, I think, about 100,000 Great Britain.
At least.
Pretty
it's
hot.
hot.
In the UK, yeah.
Well, 61 is probably cold to you and you Floridians and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. That's short
nippy
weather. That's short weather. I'm up yonder north, and I think it's like 25 today, and that's nice. I love it. Yes,
couldn't do it.
Give me some more of that.
No,
year round. Okie, some Okie dude says, look, we're men here. That's hair, baby. We don't whisker around here. We're past the whisker stage. We don't play that game no more. Because with the whisker stage, it itches. And can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
All right. Amen. And when you get past that part, it's a very good feeling because you're like this for like 2 weeks, right? And you get past that part and you're like, I'm a man now. Let's keep growing, baby. So love it. All right. Oh, there it is. Jim McCleary with the coolest comment. Holy reindeer, Batman. Fear the fucking beards, damn it. Great
Fear the beard.
Love it.
I just love this. Is our Jolly Christmas special, and we got Fear the fucking Beards, a fucking cage match we started off with. Urinating on the corpses. This is somewhere we've taken a wrong turn.
Yeah, David's peeing on dead people.
Yeah.
He deserved it. He was asking for it, okay?
That's the creation.
I believe he was. But yeah, that's the exact reason why I think us four came to fruition in Daryl's mind because he birthed this thing.
We're all just as fucked up as he is.
Yeah, right.
We'll put the dark in darkness.
The first time we all talked is kind of like, hey, let's kind of feel this out thing. It was a nonstop fucking like just hilarious chemistry. Like we're making fun of Brits. They're making fun of Americans. That's just what we do. It's just wonderful. I love it.
It's affectionately nicknamed the Redcoats, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I hear, Josh.
61 is freezing in Australia. I love it.
96 Fahrenheit today. Ooh, that's when I can cook an egg to its most solid on my forehead.
I like
it's 96. A white hot Christmas.
Yeah, boy, it is, right? And Tim says, "I love me a dark, violent Christmas." Boy, that's I don't think anybody's ever said it better. So we're gonna start with Tom, but here's our topic, and I absolutely love this time of year. Well, I love Christmas, I always have, but I also love hearing everybody's top reads of the year. So we're gonna go into that, and I know the most prepared and just happens to be in the number one spot is Mr. Tom Bookbeard.
I am prepared for this one, to be fair. I already posted it on Fanfight Addict.
Yeah.
Nice. You got a cheat sheet and everything.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down, though. I'm going to say best indie and my favorite trad pub. Well, I've picked two for best indie. So one is Seeds of War by Zhao Silver, who was just on your channel a week ago, Matt.
Yep. For the second time. I love that guy.
Yeah. I'm having a beer with him in a few days, actually. That'd be fun.
That'd be cool, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. But Seeds of War was an awesome debut novel. Like, it's not just one, not two, but there were three central protagonists, and each one would be worthy of a book of their very own. It's a fucking cool book. And the magic system, the smoke Swiss, where if you use this magic system, it's going to hurt you. You have to inhale these herbs and smoke and breathe out all kinds of shit. It's a cool book. And it's not surprising to see it's on a lot of bloggers, booktubers, top
Charlie.
And Charlie, I think me and Charlie Cavendish bonded a lot over that book. Who's also going to be there for a beer next week.
Nice.
Okay, that makes sense because Joao, when I talked to him, was like, you know what? I'm going to be meeting up with Charlie. You're meeting up with Joao. It's all the same damn thing. I got you.
It's a real who's who of indie authors going to be there, and I'm going to turn up and be like, hello. Other best indie novel was Fraser Armitage's New Yesterday, which is kind of like time-splitting sci-fi punk. It's really cool. I don't know how the hell he managed to make it a coherent story, because literally the story rewrites itself every other paragraph. It basically, someone's invented an invention where you can split time and you can just create your new reality in doing so. So if you played Time Splitters 2 on the GameCube years and years ago, you'll love that book. And
it's funny, my kids are like, what is a GameCube? And I'm like, oh,
it's a relic.
Naive. It's dude. Those CDs I broke on accident by stepping on them. They were so tiny.
Well, I was talking to you, David, yesterday. We were reminiscing about the old SNES and how it still works, but yours has tragically been lost.
Oh,
Gone.
tragic.
I'll get one back one day. My brother is 25 and he has a Super Nintendo and a large library. I think I raised him on emulators when he was younger. I showed him a lot of the games, and then he started collecting once he got old enough to get money and stuff. So he has a functioning Super Nintendo and a bunch of games on, like rare games too.
That is my favorite console of all time. Period.
So
Enough
good.
said. Period.
So good.
It
Yeah,
is.
I got
Donkey
mine when I
Kong.
was 6. I'm 35
Donkey
now,
Kong
and it
Country.
still works. Donkey Kong Country. Yeah.
The cart one where you ding, 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 where you like jump in the carts. That's it right there. Ding, 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 ding. It's the same noise, like 3,000.
I was thinking about that song too.
It's funny how much time you have to put into something to have that just burned in your memory.
Tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. But anytime I hear like one of those noises, I just recently watched the Mario animation
Movie.
which is wicked good.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
It took my nostalgia and then blew it into 2023 version. Like just great. I love that. And then I love Jack Black. So it's like I'm kind of rooting for Bowser at the same time because I'm like, I can hear my guy. That's his voice. John says Genesis kids represent because Sega does what Nintendo don't. Look at him.
That was the commercial, man. They didn't even know English. Couldn't even speak proper English. Fuckers.
John, you and I usually agree on most things, but I'm going to have to say Nintendo is superior to the Sega. But that's why things are beautifully, what's the word that I can't think of? Subjective. That's it.
It is. I like the Genesis.
Although this isn't, though, because Nintendo is just better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll make you all feel old. I used to rent Donkey Kong Country from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
That's how old these games are.
Mario Brothers. I can't remember which one it is, but I don't remember. All of them are wonderful. I just don't remember the one that I particularly like the most, but I loved them all. Those are some wonderful picks, Tom, by the way.
I haven't said my trad pick.
I know.
The indie titles worth checking out. The Trad Pub, I feel like this is one that more people need to read. It's Earth Retrograde by R.W.W. Green. Now, it was a duology. It was originally meant to be a trilogy, but Angry Robot basically got him to do 2 books instead of 3, and it really worked. So it's set in the 1970s. Oppenheimer's released this engine where it's taken man into space, and we have interdimensional travel, and we found this really badass group of aliens called the First, and they stake claim to planet Earth, and things get really badly for humanity, and we have to all go and live on Venus and all these space colonies. But it's one of those books where every single character could be the main character. They're so well written, and it doesn't matter who they are or where you're meeting them. Each time a new character is introduced, they pretty much become your next favorite character, even if they're only in the book for a page. Like,
that's incredible.
Green is almost Roddy Doyle like when it comes to dialogue and character development. He's incredible. So if you can, bring up Angry Robot, get all of his books. They're all amazing. But this is the First Planets duology, I think it's called. Check him out.
What's up with Angry Robot?
Retrograde.
Mercury Rising and Earth Retrograde. I didn't mean to interrupt you at the end. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I was just going to say,
those are 3 books. Check them out. They're awesome.
Angry Robot seems to be trying to take the world over. They've got some real bangers in there on their side. Stephen Orion, a guy I just had on the channel. He's got some beautiful prose. But yeah, I absolutely. I heard of Angry Robot before I had this YouTube channel or whatever. Kind of looked into what they do, and man, I think they treat their authors well. I think they're doing a wonderful thing. So if you're watching Angry Robot, whoever that is behind the screen, awesome job.
And they're all lovely. The people at Angry Robot for book reviewers to work with, like, they're just nice people. And also,
That's
they sent me an ARC, and they included some chocolate in the package.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's it, right? That'll win somebody over, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
give you a little chocolate. Was it Dove? What was it?
Dove. Well, Dove is a bar of soap over here. I ain't.
Oh well, same here. But Dove's also a chocolate, man. It's good. If you haven't had it, try that shit out.
Well, I don't know. I don't trust you guys with chocolate. I've had Hershey's before. Like, what is wrong with you people?
We like
What's
sugar in our chocolate.
Yeah. There's more sugar than milk in milk chocolate in America, right? What's the chocolate of choice in where you're at in the UK?
Ooh. He's putting us on the spot there.
Yeah.
Is it dark?
I say Cadbury, but then that's now bought by Americans and American owned as well. So
What you're saying is Americans just ruin shit.
We just throw sugar in everything. We just sweeten everything up.
Yeah.
That's what the Beards of Darkness are here for, to darken it back down.
Sour Christmas.
We're 80% cacao.
Cacao.
We certainly are.
Do y'all have Toblerone?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
That's
found our
right.
relation right there.
Yeah. Just breaking down international barriers. True Swiss style.
That people think we're here to talk about books, but really we're doing something so much bigger. We're knocking down international barriers, like Tom just said. You guys,
We can't even read.
Yeah,
We don't read.
I don't think I've. Yeah, exactly. We don't.
Dirk Ashton wrote our books.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's the guy just had on. Man, I had no clue how cool he was. I had an idea because I seen all the Dragon Con pictures. I said I have to have that guy on. I have to read that guy's books. And I'm so glad, man. He had some wisdom to drop, as I knew he would. David, that was cool for you to pop in and kind of chat along with him too, man.
I'm embarrassed by my answer because I was fucking clueless. Y'all were like, okay, so who do you think wrote the prologue? I scrambled.
That's a
to the
deep
book.
question.
Yeah, so I scrambled over to the book, which I actually brought just for the, I don't know, to have it because I call myself.
It makes you
prepared.
feel comfortable.
It does. It's my blankie.
Yeah.
So I scrambled over and read it, and I was like, okay, this guy's old. I have never been like, I wonder who wrote this prologue. So I was on the spot, dude. I'd like to say I had a decent answer.
You did. And he even said, man, that's a great answer. And by the way, there was no true answer to that question. Like
it was
I never oops.
This is true. You're right. It was never public or what he's never made it public. The elephant though, apparently.
Yeah. So he was like, I never really did tell anybody. In fact, it's never been said before until on my channel. So we're not going to tell you the answer. Go check that video out.
Yeah.
But
Oh wait, I just
Dave,
whoops, mute that part. Cut that part.
No, nobody remembers because they didn't know that was the answer. Anyway.
Yes.
I'm just
Right.
joking.
Well, they don't know. Yeah, this is true.
So yeah, Dirk Ashton, David. So your favorite reads or your top reads of 2023?
Sure. Okay. I'm looking at my notes. I have 8 books mentioned. Some of them I'm currently reading. I got to give a shout out to Callus and Crow and Sledge, both of which I'm reading right now. It's hard to pull off weird Western, especially plus fantasy, but Callus and Crow is doing. I'm not too deep into it, but I love the vibe is solid. I'm digging it. I'm digging the characters. Sledge, Nick's book. It's just brutal fun.
It's great.
I would not normally pay $8 for an ebook, but I watched his interview on your channel, Matt, and you can tell he's been through some shit. So I said, I need his book.
He played against Yao Ming, dude. He's 7'6".
Good grief. I didn't know he played against Yao Ming. I may not have picked up on that. Damn,
yeah, he played against some
him?
big guys, dude. Yeah,
Yeesh.
He played professional basketball, man.
Oh, I knew that. So that I knew, but I did not hear about Yao. That guy's huge.
Well,
and the fact that he researched. He would research with actual like spec ops folks and talk to actual and so on, and
and it reads like that.
Yeah, you can tell he knows this stuff. Anyways, those are current reads. I looked back through my Kindle and my Audible to say what the hell did I read this year, and the books that stand out the most. I'll just say 3. Sorry, 3 more. I'm sorry, it's got to be 4 more. One is The Pariah by Anthony Ryan. Really good book. And I think I mentioned it last time we spot. Last meeting or podcast, I mentioned The Pariah. I think I named it wrong. Really cool story. I like the hero. The hero is very capable, and I like that. Read Lonesome Dove this year, finally. That's one that Joe Abercrombie would always shout about. And I haven't read any other Westerns in my whole life, and I don't think I should now, because I feel like that might be the apex of like traditional Westerns. Just like at a dime, it's suddenly brutal as fuck. But otherwise, it just captures the spirit. Everybody is such a survivor, and life is so cheap in that book. Just anybody can die at any point, and sometimes it's a little sad.
Funny story, kind of. My wife started that. So I just got my wife, and she's even newer to reading than me, like this year. And that was her second book of all time. And I'm like, dude, does it get any better than this, right? She just finished it 2 nights ago, the last 10 pages, because she just was afraid to finish it. She's like, look, I just don't want to finish it. She knew everything that was happening. She just didn't want to finish it.
It's not the brightest, happiest ending either. It is an ending, but it's definitely not the feel good Disney ending at all.
Now, are you going to go in? Now, are you going to go into the rest of the books, or are you going to read it as a standalone?
Are there more?
Dude, there's 3 more. Yeah.
Jeez, I just spaced that out. I probably will. So, like when I read Shogun, I waited a while, and then eventually I read Taipan, and those are also huge, like, classic sort of. I like to throw some genres in between my genres. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
Yeah, it does. So what he did is, and it's funny, my wife's like, man, I wish I had the story of how they were Army Rangers, right? Or Texas Rangers.
Is that a book?
Yeah. So yeah, the next book is kind of the ending to the story, and then they go 2 books before Lonesome Dove and talk about their time as Texas Rangers. Okay. And that kind of deal.
Augustus McCrae. I could read anything about that guy. He's hilarious. And you can tell Abercrombie wrote some characters based on him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll quit hogging this. I got a couple more. The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. Crazy imaginative, and it's full of Easter eggs. It's not as dark as some of his. Probably the most imaginative of his that I've ever read, though. And the Easter eggs are always fun. I could probably read it again and pick out some stuff that I missed. And lastly, I got to give this a shout out. This is a completely different genre entirely. It's not even genre fiction. It's Atomic Habits, which is a book that helped me kick nicotine. You see me hitting my $80 placebo. There's no nicotine in this.
Placebo.
It is. It's a psychology thing. And
is it the placebo because there's no nicotine in it? So
yeah, you 100%. Yeah, well, it's just the physical fixation, I guess. I don't even want to say the name because I know how insidious these ads are. If y'all hear the name of it, your ads, it'll start blowing up your ads, even if you don't.
Yeah,
it just senses your thoughts,
and it will be on your Facebook ads, your YouTube ads, your every fucking ad is going to be this. So I'm not going to say its name. I won't show it on camera again till I do this. Take a nice hit of absolutely nothing.
Now mine is absolutely nicotine.
Oh, I see them big clouds you're letting out. It's making me a little jealous, but I'm good.
I don't mean to peer pressure you. It was funny, and I totally acted like it was on purpose during the live, but it wasn't. It was totally like not on purpose. I took credit as if it was, but it wasn't. When I was talking to Joao, he mentioned the Smokesmiths, and I just happened to be blowing out, and I was like, I meant to do that. Anyway.
Nice.
Those are some wonderful choices. Lots of those that I've either started reading or that I'm excited to read, especially The Pariah, Lonesome Dove.
Yes.
So a quick shout out. I have to say, my dad's always working, so he never pops in here. So shout out to Pops. Thank you for popping in here to see my wonderful buddies.
The Beard Father.
The father of Papa Darkness.
Does he have a beard?
Does he have a beard?
No, I keep trying to convince him, and he's like, yeah, I did that when I was younger, and now I'm just going to clean shave it, So
Jim, this is your sign. Grow the beard.
Yeah, dude.
Great.
First, Pops, if you can grow a beard like Tom, man, you need to do that just because you're going to get like contracts to be in magazines and that type shit anyway. He grows a fantastic beard. Anywho, DB Rook, man, I can't wait to hear about yours.
Top read. So I'm not very good at choosing anything from a list of things, so I've made myself choose one book. So I've recently put out. I put out
Shout
my
out to Beth.
reads. And there's only probably 5 books on it. Didn't finish a lot of books. Started a lot of books, and I've got a lot sort of unfinished. But I forced myself to pick one book, which really sort of had an impact, but then kind of just I never quite got it out of my brain, even if I was not reading it. And that book is Black Tongue Thief.
Oh,
Buellman, is that how you pronounce his name? Buellman?
It is. I had an inkling that was going to be your choice.
Yeah, I've raved about it enough. It's just incredible how much is in that book. It's dark, it's funny, it's romantic, it's horrendous, it's grim, it's like a journey, it's like a sitcom, it's like a sword and sorcery sitcom. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it, and it's the main reason I picked that book for this list is because out of all the sequels that are coming out, that is the one that makes me squeal like a little girl.
The Daughter's War. The Daughter's War.
Yeah, with prequel, but it's just there's no way on earth that it cannot be amazing because the way the guy writes is just ridiculous, and it's it's not just about prose, it's not just about story, it's about everything is just unique and incredible. Love it.
You've just added that book and him as an author to everybody's TBR. That was the most fantastic spot that an author could ever ask for, right there. If I was him, I would be like, yeah, that's the dream I was after. Daryl just captured it.
So yeah, amazing. Keep doing what you do, Mister.
He seems like one of those guys, just from the way he talks, his grammar, his what's the word? His vernacular. It's like you meet those people every now and then that are just so incredibly just intelligent, or and they're not even trying. It's like, do you understand what you're doing right now? And they're like, usually very not like hip with it, but it's very cool to see. And he seems like through like messages I've sent him and he sent back, just I've had to look up words that he just naturally uses, and I'm like, bro, thank you for introducing me to a brand new word that I didn't know exists through just leisure dialogue. So I believe you, man. I can't wait to check that out. So I'm a lot like DB Rook. I started like probably 30 novels, 40 novels this year. All of them I'm going to continue and finish. The ones that I did finish were pretty good, but here are my favorites. One of these I haven't finished, and it's my current read, but I already know that it's one of my top reads of 2023. And I kind of did what Tom did. I have an indie section and a trad section. The indie was John Palladino's Trials of Ashmount. It was just, yeah, dude, like it was so dark in places, human in other places, caught you off guard in other places. The story was good. He took many POVs and laid them out before you in a way that it was really hard to be confused, truly. And you end up caring what happens to the most awful of these, and of course the best of these as well. But it's a true thing when you care about a true asshole in a book, right? A guy that is like just terrible and has nothing good to do or say, and you end up like, well, I kind of want to know what happens to that guy. Another one, indie, was The Wickwire Watch by Jacqueline Hagan. Oh my goodness. Just the atmosphere. It's a gaslight fantasy. It takes place in London, kind of like a Victorian London. The feel of it, like I said, the atmosphere was just outrageously cool. And the main character, Inkwell, can't remember his last name, Featherfield, Inkwell Featherfield. The wifey's got my back. Yeah, but what a name, Inkwell Featherfield. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacqueline Hagan, that's her debut novel. It was just so good. In fact, I don't believe that's the first book she's ever written. And if it is truly, which I think it is, I'm just joking with her. She has to share some of that talent, right? And then the other one in the indie realm was Sledge versus Labyrinth by Nick Horvath. Sorry. He's just a 6'10" monster of an author who's been there, done that, been through it, and gotten through that thing as well. And it puts his everything into what he's doing that he finds passionate, man. And you can tell that being an author is one of them. He goes hard in the paint. And what I mean is he plays basketball and he's a rebound legend. You're not grabbing the ball. You're not taking the rock from that guy. I promise. He's keeping it. And he also has one hell of a prose. And as far as Tradpub goes, the two that I've read are part of one saga, the Moonfall Saga by James Rollins. They're fantasy. The only fantasy books he's put out as James Rollins. He used to write under James Clemens. He did a bunch of fantasy under that name. But it's incredible. It's about a main character. It's a female. She's blind. Her name is Nyx. And just this crazy animal kind of companion. They don't speak, but it is certainly a companion. He takes his knowledge as a vet because he is a veterinarian, James Clemens or James Rollins, and he puts that into wonderful use in a fantasy world because these animals are these fictitious animals that he uses and has created. He also diagrams their anatomy and goes into some physiology that is completely fictitious, but you can tell there's a stem in there from some real research, and you can tell that this schooling and being a vet was something he was passionate about because he incorporates it. Very cool way. Every chapter he had what's the word? Epigraph. He uses those epigraphs as a way to tell you about these animals. And it's super, super cool. The other, which is my current read, and I'm only halfway through it, and I just know it's going to be forever in my top 10, is Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. It's my second sci-fi, and man, just it's a science fantasy. He talks about how it kind of touches both sides of the spectrum, and I believe it. It's epic. I think it's going to be 8 books long. He's got 5 out, I think, 5 or 6. But I'm absolutely loving it. I recommend it to anybody who doesn't mind a dense read. His prose is very dense. You're going to have to look up some words. You're going to have to start thinking about things and digesting it. You can't read it fast. But that's my answer. Anybody else?
What was the first?
It's JCM Burns' Wistful Ascending.
Ooh.
I told him, I said, I'm not into sci-fi. And I said, but I'm going to read your book because I'm into the whole being uncomfortable makes you grow. And I'm so glad I did, man. He pulled that off. He made the Wistful, which is the ship in the series, just expand bigger and bigger and bigger throughout that book. And I didn't think that was possible with words.
Yeah, sci-fi is a genre I need to read more of. Like, I read quite a bit, but I always feel like I don't read enough.
Tom, have you read Children of Time?
No.
Oh, dude.
No.
That's a great one.
Stuff. I need to read the sci-fi.
Oh, it's so good.
Mother Darkness or Mrs. Darkness, whichever, says, and this was one of the first fantasies because she didn't know she liked fantasy. And Nick, you just popped in at like a great time. Obviously, it's always a great time for you, but we just went over like so many things about you. Like you're gonna have to
we did
for sure.
Nick, David, and DB Rook want to fight you in a cage.
We got you, bro.
I told him you go hard in the paint and that you're taking the rock and you're keeping it. That's your baby. But yeah, Mother Darkness, she dove in with her first true epic fantasy book, which was the Curse of the Fallen by H.C. Newell. And dude, she loved it. She breezed right through it. So that was cool for me because I just was like trying to talk her into fantasy for so long, and she finally dove and she loved it. So that was cool. Ryan says he loves science fantasy. It's like fantasy with space. Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't really understand what science fantasy meant. It's like, dude, that seems redundant. And it's not. You've got in what I'm reading, Empire of Silence, you've got like the holograms and space travel and cryogenesis where to travel this 13-year voyage and to do so you're not like costing these people money by eating every day kind of thing. They freeze you, and there's a real science part to it. But then the fantasy part really comes through in his storytelling, in the intimate storytelling. I think whether it's a character or an issue the character's having personally, the world around them during these personal issues. So it was new to me until Christopher Rocchio kind of introduced that to me.
I mean, technically, isn't Star Wars science fantasy?
I would call Star Wars absolutely. They have swords.
Yep.
They have
Like the archetype. Yeah, magic, swords, also big fuck off planet cracking Death Stars.
Yeah.
Death Stars, monsters.
And
It's me.
Jabba the Hutt, who has a weight
Big
problem.
surprise. But I am actually a small Star Wars fan. Believe it or not.
I had just
Oh,
noticed your
nice. I
sweater
didn't
recently.
notice.
I love it.
I am your father.
Beautiful.
You know, it's funny how that should be like a thing I've seen so many times, but you hear Luke, I am your father, but I've never seen that shirt, man. That is absolutely the coolest.
Sweater.
Yeah.
Beautiful sweater.
Star Wars. There's been some dodgy moments in the Star Wars universe over
A little bit.
50 years. But the world build for me, the world building of the universe building of Star Wars is second to none. That's
Gerald,
why I
do
love it.
do you read the books?
5 years, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I've read quite a lot of the books. Not all of
Okay.
them. Not all of them are great, but some of them are.
Right.
But just being in that world is just wonderful.
Shout out to L.O. McRae, by the way. Thank you for popping in.
Hey.
So I'm a huge fan of the first trilogy. I've really tried my darndest. I like the next few because I kind of grew up in that part of Star Wars. What would that be? Like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Pretty good, right? That
You
time
couldn't really
frame.
get that particular film was never going to go bad because the story that it had to cover was wonderful. So they couldn't really get that wrong, surely.
And I've tried a few
Tried their
things.
darndest.
Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
I say they tried their darndest to get it wrong.
And then they gave it to Disney.
I'll be yeah. Revenge of the Sith. Making of a villain. Any story that is the making of the forging of a villain. It's really top tier. Revenge of the Sith. That is. Just
And he
any
just
acting
looks the
or
coolest.
inconsistencies. In all else aside, just the fact that, especially the fight, the freaking lava fight with, I have the high ground and so on.
The wonderful Tori Tekken, whenever she makes an appearance, it's always appreciated because she is doing something in a couple ways that I truly want to be doing. That's being an author and running an amazing YouTube channel. Keep up the wonderful work, Tori, and thank you for popping in. So that was
Where
cool.
were
Go ahead.
Where were we? We've gone Star Wars.
I was
We've
just
got
digesting
Star
your
Wars.
guys' picks, your guys' top reads, and those are it's a really good list, man. Now of those, your top reads. In fact, a lot of them we choose these because, well, it's all different. And that's subjective, but I like to say we judge our books by our covers first, right?
Oh yeah.
That is
So-
a hell of a segue.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I do,
Amazing.
player. That's what I do.
That's why he's got the flashy lights.
Yeah.
Great ideas. Best ideas.
I'm just having those ideas popping up, and I think it has something to do with this. But we're going to go over
Use
the
Google.
covers. Yes, Exactly. We're going to go over the things that we love about covers and the things that we don't particularly like about covers. We're going to hit the do's, or the pros, the things we like first. And of course, we're going to start with the wonderful Biggity Big Bookbeard.
Me again. All right.
Yeah.
So covers I like. You know, there's really old classic fantasy sci-fi covers. Like, they're kind of shit, but they're also not, because they're really fucking busy. And
Yes.
the art is actually really fucking good. And I thought the best way to judge a book by its cover in this regard is something like that. Look how fucking busy this is.
Yes.
And I think this is also a science fantasy book.
I wish I could find the old book I have. I can't find it, but it's
kind
just
of
like that.
King Arthur in the Round Table in space with ships, and
It has a lot going on.
Sci-fi, and yeah, that. Give me any cover like that. I love when you go to a charity shop or thrift store for you Americans, and
Stores.
A thrift
someone's
store.
either like died, or they've had a clear out, or a divorce, and they've got
Or a divorce.
all the epic sci-fi fantasy covers there, and you're like, these are 75p each. This is fucking brilliant. You just load up. It's incredible. Yeah.
I think it's funny that my wife just told everybody we have hella kids.
You do have
That's a way to put it.
Yeah,
You
you
five,
know,
right?
one trainer when it comes to kids. Seriously.
Yeah, I think so. Every one of us has kids, so I think that's another reason why we all kind of just get it, you know. So
That's why we all look so tired.
I would take these off, but
Tom, are you excited for the gray beard?
Well, my own grey beard.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
My end stage beard goal is to moonlight as Santa in a shopping center.
No, damn, that's white, player. Damn,
I
I'm
have a
talking like
theory.
gray.
The more grey, the more spells you've got in your repertoire.
ooh,
It sort of see works.
Daryl's got a whole book full.
And yeah, bad covers. It's a real personal preference. I just don't like the ones where it's kind of like two stock images of people kind of almost kissing, like a Nicholas Sparks novel. You know, there seems to be a lot of those going around.
Those are my favorite.
Oh dang! Hey, this is the final episode of the Full Beard.
it's been good.
I don't know this motherfucker no more.
I think they're perfectly fine. Like, if you like them, great, and it doesn't reflect on the quality of the book every single time. But that turns me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Alex once emptied a charity shop science fiction section in Cranley near you, Tom.
I know the charity. Is it the Oxfam by the Sainsbury's? I know the one. That you
all those names sound so British, dude.
Fucking brilliant bookshop. I have been there so many times.
Well, you were
Cranley.
What you said? Is it the Oxfam by the Prisberries?
Yes, my good chap, old Bean. The Oxfam by the Sainsbury's. Yes.
Well, it's just like me saying it's down there by the Goodwill.
Down over on Bilo, next to Ingles.
Yeah.
There's Bojangles down the street.
I don't think they have Oxfam down in the bayou.
Bayou.
I've come to find out lately that Tom is actually pretty good with these American accents.
We gonna
Me,
go
I'm
down with
terrible.
Angelina, go to Oxfam, buy ourselves some science fiction fantasy books.
Yo, you got to come to Dragon Con. It is settled.
There it is.
I
That's
might get
amazing.
beaten up. Let's be honest.
Nah,
You
I'll
should
be there.
totally
I got
pass.
you.
And speaking of which, that sounds very Louisiana.
Yeah, that was quite Louisiana.
They're down there in the bayou. So yeah, I wanted to let you. If I ever do an accent that's good, damn it, you better tell me, because that's what I aim for. But I know how bad I am. So wonderful job, Tom. And then we can hear the accent. He says,
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell. And that's how bad I am right there.
Kill the H. Get rid of the H.
Hell. Yeah. I love it. So yeah, answer that. Yes, that's the one, he says.
Nice.
You guys are on the
It's
same
such a good
wavelength.
bookshop. It's really awesome. There's always something there. Always.
There was.
You giving away all these books in Cranley. Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, thank you. But seriously?
There's like those 3 people who are just religiously like to give to charity and specifically books, and they're just feeding you guys right there in that local area. Because my local charity shop, where we like to shop every now and then, especially for books, they just don't have shit. Nobody in my area knows how to read a good science fiction or a fantasy book. I found one old one there, and I don't remember the name of it, but I kept it because of the cover, and it's pretty awesome. Actually, I was just trying to find it. And it's a lot like what you just held up. Same vein, where you like, it's kind of a lot going on, but it's got that authentic feel to it. So if that was the end of your answer, Tom, David.
Okay. I'll try to be succinct. I wish I'd taken better notes, but I've got some good ideas, some answers for you. So elements that I don't love. Well, should I start with elements that I do love? If so, let's do that.
Start with the do's.
There's a cover that not recently, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe sold a book to me. Landscapes. I love a colorful land, like green grass and a blue sky, or just maybe a range of colors. I just changed color in my own camera. I changed color when I did this.
And you're playing tricks with me.
Landscapes are cool. The book that the cover sold it to me was Ember Blade by Chris Wooding.
Yeah, dude.
Now the book itself didn't keep my attention with a very tight grip. I'm sure it's very good. I know a lot of people love it, but the cover of it with a huge, so there's like a waterfall coming off a massive cliff. We got this green place with these people looking toward it. That shit right there just says adventure to me. And that will sell me a book with no other, like no recommendations. I don't care about the blurb. On the other hand, books that, it's when I change tabs. That's what's changing my color.
Changing tabs on us.
Books that are a harder sell for me, that don't sell the book and almost sometimes prevent the sale, is something very very simple, one or two colors. And I hate to name any names, but I have not read any of this author's books. For all I know, they're all fantastic. Ben Galley, a lot of his books, he has a series, and they're all white backdrop with, I think, 1 or 2 total colors on it. And they're either images or shapes or weapons or something like that. But it does not tickle that part of my brain that yells, you need to get it. And Sam Sykes had a book not too long ago, and I've not read any of his books either, but it was another similar type, very, very plain, white background, I think, or either black background. I don't want to go clicking and typing right now and find it, but you get the Poppy War is another one. The cover of the Poppy War did not sell it for me. It looked low, came off low effort to me, and that is not at all any kind of judgment on the book itself. I read the book; it was good enough. But the cover, a very simple
white and orange.
That kind of thing. It doesn't leap out at me. It doesn't. Now that said, Sledge versus the Labyrinth is a very basic, it's only a couple, it's white and black kind of with some red, but that's different. There's something about that. I mean, that's a kind of detailed image.
It punches you in the throat real quick, but it's like, hey, I'm still your friend.
A face punch with a sledgehammer, and the font works on that too. It's just brutal. Everything about it looks serious.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's my
I think you had some really good points. I love hearing the variance of even just the 4 of us love so many different things. So, Daryl, DB Rook.
So I'm a very fussy reader. So I think for me to read a book, I have to really, really like it. I really have to get down with a lot of things to entertain it. But covers, I think I'm a bit of a simple animal. There's a couple of things that you could just throw in there and have me hooked. One of them is probably to do with Star Wars. Somebody wearing a hood in a well voluminous hood. I'm there. I'm sold. a white book. I really like a nice, clean white book, like the Night Angel. Do you know the Night Angel book?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he's got a hood.
He's got a hood. It's white. It's clean. It's crisp. And I was like, "Here's my money." And the other element I like is if, I mean, I like a landscape. I like a citadel or something, but it's gotta have some awe. So I'm going to use John Gwynn's Shadow of the Gods.
Ooh.
To be honest, if I see a dragon on a cover, sometimes it can make me a little bit wary.
Yeah.
If you've got that tiny geezer there that gives the scale of the dragon, it gives the awe.
It's a big ass dragon.
Success. So that's my 3 elements: white, hoods, and awe.
Very specific reader he is.
I dig that.
Stick them 3 things on the cover, and here's the money.
So real quick, just kind of leading off the dragon thing, we've got one who does it really well. Ella McRae, she writes a lot about dragons, and her covers are amazingly what is the word? They're very impactful. You look at it and just those colors pop. So I see her over here. I had to shout that out. So I kind of the opposite of David, a little bit like Daryl and a little bit like Tom. So I truly love, I'll give you examples of what I love. Every one of Ryan Cahill's books, I love the simplicity, the boldness. It gives you just enough of whatever the picture is of. That's going to be a part of the story, a good big part of the story. Almost it's like a tease. It's like it's simple, it's put together, it's pops, and also gives you a pretty big part of what this book's going to be about in a very elegant but strong way. Other covers that I love, I like the Way of Kings novel, the cover art for that a lot.
It's like what Tom said.
Yes, exactly. And there's not many of that same style that I like, but there's those few that really pop out to me. Now, I'll give you an examples of what I absolutely hate. And this is not actually a forecast of me buying the book even, because I'm getting ready to actually buy these books because I know I want to read them. The very first, I can't remember the name of the series, but Brent Weeks, his first covers, I think he did himself a disservice with those because he's such a big impact on this community. So many people love his books, and I actually goofed up. I know I technically can read Night Angel Nemesis like as my starting point, but I'm not going to just because I think I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm going to go back and read the original series first, and then continue with that. But I can't remember the name of that series.
It's the Night Angel. Yeah, beautiful, brilliant trilogy.
I cannot wait to read that. But yeah, the first covers he did just didn't ring a bell with me.
Really?
Yeah. And I wish I could think of the names of them, but I don't know. It kind of just seems as if they don't have much depth. Maybe Daryl's got them. Those are it. That's it. Yes. Those are it.
White background, cloak.
White book. Yeah.
That's the DB Rook favorite right there.
Yeah.
So his ones stick out to me. Now, this last comment, Swords, Magic, and Dragons, Echo Saga by Philip Contrell. I fucking absolutely dig those. So yes, I agree with you. Those are epic covers, just like Ryan's covers. And leading on with the dragons that you were talking about, DB, somebody else who does wonderful dragons, Michael R. Miller. Ascendant, Unbound, those covers are just awesome. So yeah, that would be my kind of very not specific answer.
I just thought of another pet peeve of mine when it comes to covers, and that's movie tie-in covers.
Yes,
you know, like
yes.
When you get The Hobbit and you've got Martin Freeman on the front as Bilbo,
Yes.
it's like, no,
Listen,
I'm
Bro,
can-
so
I
glad
watched
you brought
the
that
film.
up.
I watched the film. Don't put the fucking movie poster on the cover. It's not
I've
cool.
been burned.
The
I've been
Wheel of
burned by that
Time
before.
books, the Wheel of Time books with the new
Ah,
show
no.
on the cover. Bro, look,
No.
look, Robert Jordan is turning in his grave when they do that.
That's probably because David is pissing on it.
He's trying to not drown. He's trying to not get waterboarded, pee-boarded, piss-boarded. On that covers from the movie. When I was a kid, I saw Last of the Mohicans, which is a fucking epic movie. Daniel Day-Lewis is killer in whatever he does.
Yeah.
And so I went to the school fair. I was in like maybe fifth. I don't know what grade I was in, young. And I saw this book, and it was that book, The Last of the Mohicans, and it had Daniel Day-Lewis on the front with that cool pose, like he's got tomahawks in his hand. And I bought that book real fast. And dude,
Real fast.
I got about one sentence. My fifth grade self got one sentence into it, and I was like, "What language is this even?" I don't think I've ever even tried it since then. But it was way the hell over my head. It was not. I mean, I realized
Not for a fifth grader.
it was not me anyway. Not with my attention span as it was.
So those are our covers, do's and don'ts, or likes and dislikes.
Oh yes, Tori agrees on a good hood. Excellent, thank you.
Nice.
Speaking of hoods, Daryl, your new short story, No Hook for the Hood,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
another classic DB Rook
Dude.
hooded cover.
Actually, yeah, white, yeah.
Complete with a hood.
That was
So-
on subconscious.
Speaking of that short story, it's
Gruesome.
top two for me. And
It's
I've read a
good.
lot of short stories lately, and he ties that up so well. Just
It's
Very
this little grimdark flash fiction almost, but yeah,
No, it's a
you
good
went
one.
to some dark places.
A spiral. It's got a nice
Dirty
spiral
Tom.
toward.
NH Snow is digging the festivities.
Thank you. They're not comfortable.
Apologize if you guys hear some random kids screaming or crying, whatever it is. They just came back home from the babysitters. So beware. Oh, just talked about you, Steven. We were just talking about Angry Robot.
Speaking of tall authors, he's tall too.
He
He's
is.
also cool. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he
just-
played basketball though.
Yeah, he was talking. I was just had him on the channel not too long ago, and he was talking about the little club they have as far as going to conventions and stuff, like the tall authors. And I think I make the club if I get this book out that I'm.
Gosh,
trying to write.
I'll need stilts. I'm only 6'2".
That's tall though. You still make the club, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah,
have
but
to ask
you guys
Steven.
are freakish.
I know Ryan's really tall.
Ryan's
Ryan
tall.
Cahill. David. Can't remember the last name. He was talking about him. Anyway.
Lord
Um,
TBR or Fanfight.
Well, David
Addict
Walters is
also
tall, but this is
he tall
very
too?
cool.
David Walters is tall. He's the
I
same
love
height
his
as me.
pictures at Dragon Con with Dirk Ashton and Ryan and David Walters, where Dirk is kneeling down.
Dirk
to
is
make it look
he's
even
hobbit
bigger.
size.
David Ragg.
David Ragg, yes.
He's like 6'10". I feel like he said he was 6'10".
I did not know he was a tall dude. You never know from pictures.
No.
And you just missed
Okay,
you missed the
6'3".
cut. You just
Damn
missed
it. I got shoes,
you-
bro. I got thick shoes.
There we go. Get the heels on and just, there we go.
Put me in there, coach.
Put me in, coach. That's a good song. Anywho, we're gonna get festive real quick
Yes.
and talk about some of our favorite holiday foods. And I added this. They don't even know. In drinks as well, if you guys have a drink.
Okay.
Okay.
Tom Bookbeard is gonna lead the way.
My bow tie is failing. I'm losing it.
I'm going first. Favorite holiday food and drink. Okay. Well, my partner is Polish, and every Christmas Eve we make pierogi from scratch. So I posted on Twitter about it earlier, or X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever the fuck he wants to call it nowadays. So I did cream cheese, blackcurrant jam in a homemade pierogi. It was awesome. And tomorrow night we're having a few people over. We're making homemade pierogies. We're having borscht, which is some sort of carrot beetroot soup.
Yeah, I
And
know
yeah.
that. Nice.
We're polishing to the max.
I've
So,
had
yeah.
pierogies like as from like for the store, but as far
Right,
as having
frozen.
them, yeah, like I know I love them, so I can just imagine a homemade one.
I made homemade bolognese pierogi one year just because I had some bolognese that was going to go off otherwise. And that was an
It's
experience.
a mixture of cultures there.
Yeah,
Italian
Push,
and Polish.
push the bolognese. It's going to turn.
Real fusion cuisine and shit.
Breaking down barriers
and-
again.
Favorite drink? Oh god. That's a hard question, man.
I think you had a really awesome drink from an awesome band the last time we were on here.
Oh yeah, that was the
Oh, yeah.
mead from Bullet for My Valentine, but I'm on the Hobgoblin
Yeah.
today.
The
Okay.
Hobgoblin. Is that an
It's
IPA?
a good Christmas beer, actually. It's not Christmassy at all, but I tend to drink it around Christmas. I don't know why.
All right.
So yeah, that Hobgoblin.
You dip into a side of beer that is really just too intimidating, has too much flavor for me. An IPA.
Matt, they've got it over there across the pond. They got it way better. I'm like, we're trying to come up with all these little local breweries around, and especially close to me is Asheville, which is kind of famous for all the breweries. But England, that's something they've had since way back.
I mean,
They've got the
they
game
get
on
to a
wraps.
state of tasting like piss and hay, don't they? Whether it's a New England IPA or whatever.
Let's
Speaking
just
of
say-
shit beer, I got shit beer soap as an early present. This is PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, but this is the soap. My
I
wife
buy
told
Pabst
me
Blue Ribbon once a week at least.
it's not delicious, but it's one of those so bad it's good kind of things around
Yeah.
these parts.
I think I learned that I loved it after hating it for so long. But
Oh, yeah,
having
you
to
gotta
drink
muscle
it in
through.
college. You
A
do.
lot of practice.
And then they've got you by the balls after that because then you
Oh,
just
yeah.
learn to love it. It's like it doesn't make sense, but yeah, every now and then I'll throw a PBR in the fridge. But I want to try Waking the Demon. Right? What is it? A whiskey?
It's a mead.
Oh, it's a mead. Okay.
Yeah. So
Honey.
it's a honey liqueur. It's amazing. It's really good mead.
I've never had mead.
But because I've had this shit cold that's been going around for the past week or so, I've been having it hot.
There you go.
Let me tell you. Mold mead.
Mold mead.
That should be my answer for the festive drink. A mold mead. There you go.
Right.
You may try it yourself.
David.
I need to turn off comments. They're distracting me. I got folks talking about PBR over here. Ryan's talking about it's great when you need a beer that costs $2 and a paper clip. That's fucking right. It's cheap as shit.
The paper clip. Natty's actually
Really
cheap.
cool can. The can makes it taste better somehow. All right, I'm hiding chat for my ADD purposes. All right, teacher. The question was festive foods, festive drinks. Was that right?
Festive food and drink. Yeah, whatever you associate in your mind with the holidays.
Okay. We have summer. So coming up, we had summer sausage. My mom would always buy summer sausage. She'd make sausage balls. She would make Chex Mix. A lot of people had fudge. I'm not really into sweet stuff, fudge or brownies or cookies. I realize how alien that makes me.
No, it doesn't. I'm the same.
I like savory and spicy. And sour and that kind of. But now my wife makes, and can I just say I'm not even lying when I say this. My mom's not gonna watch this, so it's fine. She makes better Chex Mix, Christmas Chex Mix, makes better sausage balls. We don't have any summer sausage downstairs with some crazy mustard. I like weird mustard on summer sausage. These are festive foods for me. As odd as that might.
You're speaking to me. You
Buckeyes, dude. When my dad was around, we'd have Buckeyes, which not like the national fruit of Ohio or whatever the hell, but the tree of Ohio.
Yeah, what Ohio State uses I think it's I'm an Ohioan, but I'm a Michigan fan, so I don't go too far in Ohio's history.
Are you familiar with the candy though? It's just a piece of.
Yeah, my mom makes one hell of a Buckeye. We call them Michigan balls in our household.
Okay, peanut butter with chocolate around it, basically.
That's it.
Those are pretty nice for a sweet thing.
Best marriage is peanut butter and chocolate.
As far as beverages, I like putting liqueurs in my coffee. If I don't drink a ton, especially not at the house. If I'm drinking, I'm usually with folks and I'm slamming beers. But here at the house, if I want to have a little kick my feet up and get toasty under a blanket or something, any hot beverage, hot coffee, or coffee or like hot chocolate, and then add something weird, like some kind of liqueur. I don't remember the most peanut butter and chocolate are gross together. Hot. Okay,
It's a hot take.
that's a little bit of an alien take right there. I dig it. That's brave, is what that is.
And that was brave. Now, me, I would bathe in both of those.
Yeah.
Or a mixture of them.
Bailey's or Kahlua, or I had this yellow bottle not long ago, and it was really good. Snowing outside, you just throw some in a coffee, it just makes you real nice. Yeah, that's my festive.
David, you and I have a lot of the same taste, man. I love Kahlua. I love like a hot liqueur and coffee kind of deal,
Throw that
man. I feel it. I know
There's a
the next thing I'm
Discorano
buying-
now where they've blended it with cream, which is really good.
Yeah,
I've been
Oh,
having
yeah.
that coffee.
White bottle. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
yeah, dangerously good. I gotta watch out.
like the kind where you have a few sips and it just tastes so good that you've downed 4 and you stand up and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, and then it's not so cold outside. Then you're outside naked and frostbite. It's just gets out of
well,
hand.
my other half was saying, if you keep drinking it like this, there's going to be none for our guests at Christmas. I said, it's naive of you to think this is for our guests at Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. All right, DP Rook, what is your festive food and drink, man?
So quite the opposite. I'm all about the sweet. I'm all about the biscuit. I'm flapjack. Anything that's got honey, nuts, chocolate. I love all that stuff. I'm terrible for eating any of that stuff. Obviously, I'll eat my my veggies and I'll be a good boy. But I'm just thinking about the cookies and the biscuits after. Anything sweet and nutty. Drink wise, I love my mead, but I think there needs to be a movement for hot alcohol. I think anything mulled, anything hot. It's just how alcohol should be consumed. I think it's always good. Just like if you've got a cold and you're having a hot like black currant, it does more than when it's cold. So do that to alcohol, and it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, I've never had hot whiskey, but I'm sure there's some way of making whiskey hot. And
that's a cold remedy down here. Even for kids,
cold medicine.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, I want to show you this. Speaking of hot whiskey or cold whiskey, I've recently got a stone whiskey cooler.
Oh wow!
Heard about these until
this?
like 2 days ago. So you put it in the freezer, it freezes up, you put it in your whiskey, and it doesn't dilute it, but it keeps it
beautiful.
Wonderful. It's like some kind of weird obelisk.
Yeah.
That's super good idea. Some
maybe,
people are like, go ahead.
Maybe you do the opposite. You can heat up the cube, and then it would mull your whiskey for you.
Yeah. And it'd be like a lava whiskey.
I like the way your
Board
brain works.
Beardsmen cannot accept any liability for anyone who tries this and is injured as a result.
If it explodes, we are not to blame.
Yeah.
We didn't tell you to do it.
No. And it also makes your glass really heavy and manly.
Yeah, you just
very
it feels
substantial.
affirmative. It's like this feels like it's the right thing to drink.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So hot alcohol, sweet, nutty, chocolate, honey, all the good.
My kids would love to eat at your house. My kids think it's like
we've only got so much food.
They think that every meal that they eat, that they equally get a whole meal of sweets. So it's like my son today, in fact, was like, I ate my macaroni and cheese, so I get the equal weight in chocolate, right? And I'm just like, bro, this is not how healthy life is. We're gonna give you sweets, but I'm not trying to give you early onset diabetes either.
Beat us.
My kids have got a concept where they think that dessert or pudding is with every meal. So they think that breakfast pudding is a real concept.
It's like,
I just want to comment how happy I am to hear you talk about pudding. It just makes me think of the Pink Floyd song where you can't have any pudding.
I love that, man. This is why I do this with you guys. It's so much fun. But I have to check out a new Pink Floyd song. I don't know that one. I have the Dark Side of the
this
Moon.
would be
is it
is it The Wall? It's probably from the film. But it's just
okay.
like, it's not a lyric. It's just kind of like noise inside this. You can't finish your. And I don't even want to say it because I'll get it so wrong.
Mm.
And to be honest, I think one of my bandmates is in the comments. So I'm definitely Rusty. Help me out, man. If you know the lyrics, let them enjoy. That's him. That's our drummer.
Let's enjoy that
Metabolism while
that
they are
have.
young. Not everyone ages like David. Oh, thanks, Rusty. He's calling me skinny. It's
He
true.
is, in so many words.
I am tall and thin.
You a tall drink of water, you.
That's it. All right, Gus. Augustus McCrae.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell you what I associate in this disaster of a mind with holidays. There's a few things. Food. I love deviled eggs. I'll eat the whole tray most of the time before any guests get here. And if I go to your house and they're there, like keep them things away from me because I'll eat all yours too. I like some homemade stuffing.
Okay. We all just nod our head like this.
And then ham, of course, I think is a very American holiday. Tell me if it's also in the UK, but it's a very American holiday piece of meat. So those are my foods. And then drink, man, I can't believe I'm the first one to say it, but I would bathe in a tub of eggnog.
Oh yeah, eggnog.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
Not
I
the
could drink.
alcoholic version, though. I like regular eggnog with no liquor in it or whiskey. Just the unalcoholic version.
It's tasty, but that is quite dairy, isn't it? Like, not that I drink milk.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it scares me. Something about ingesting a lot of eggnog frightens me a little bit. Maybe it's the name.
I drink gallons during the Christmas season, so if it's any proof that you won't die and that it's uncooked eggs, because it's not, it's cooked.
It makes you taller.
It does. In fact, it makes your facial hair grow just a little bit more sheeny.
Well, shit. I'm going to the store right after this.
But yeah, if you guys have never had eggnog because it like intimidates you, you're doing yourself a disservice because it's what God drinks.
That's what God drinks.
And on the 8th day, God created eggnog.
Eggnog. And what a process it is. I've tried and I failed every time to make eggnog. If you make eggnog,
can make it.
It has to be made.
Egg whites.
Egg yolks.
Oh,
the whites aren't used. Yeah, it's like custard, making custard, but just like a step short. It's a little more liquidy than custard. And yes, I love custard. McDonald's in America does these holiday pies. And I'm not lying, I used to order 30 at a time back in the day. I would like hey, I'll give you my credit card right now for you to take my order for 30 of those bad boys. I'll be there in an hour. But yeah,
listen,
so
sorry, somebody came through. Rusty came through. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. There it is. How can you have any pudding if you don't beat your meat? Okay, thanks, Rusty. Perfect. That's the line I was looking for. That's the one.
It makes so much sense that you guys are friends.
Rusty's awesome.
Is he your guitarist?
Drummer. He used to have a mohawk.
Oh.
And you know what? He used to have a mohawk and no shirt. And there's a point in this book where our main character walks in on a bit of a party complete with an orgy, and there's a band playing. There's some musicians. There's not exactly bands in this, but one of the musicians is a shirtless percussionist. That's Mr. Rust. Yeah, that's my shout out to little Rusty.
Rusty, I can't wait to get to that part and be like, I know that guy. Cool, man. Rusty, I'm so happy you popped in, man. That's so cool. You guys doing the band thing. I miss it. I so miss it. The gigs were fun, and then kind of creating.
Oh, Rusty. Matt, aka Beard of Darkness, is a drummer. Don't tell my wife.
And so is Daryl.
She knew. That's why she's your wife. Let's be honest, dude. That's why she's your wife. Same reason I got a wife is because I was a guitarist in a band.
Daryl's also a drummer, guys.
Daryl's a drummer too. That's right. I'm sorry, Daryl, for not giving you love just then.
Yeah,
Daryl is also. In fact, our intro.
Exactly,
Daryl. Mm-hmm.
So percussion is something I did in school until I couldn't do both, play football and do percussion. And then, of course, as an adult, just love playing. Daryl, did you like pick your first sticks up in school or?
Yeah. 13 maybe. Yeah, I was in a band called Beware of the Dog.
All
First
right.
ever band, and I've been playing ever since.
Awesome.
Many years.
So right before we came on, Tom had an idea for a really good kind of a good idea. Would you tell everybody kind of the transport?
Yeah, I think to close it out and let's keep it festive is if you could transport into any fantasy or sci-fi setting for your Christmas dinner, where would you go? And because I'm asking the question, I get to choose who answers first.
There you go.
Oh gosh.
No, wait, that way.
There you
I'm
go.
ready. I'm ready.
Weird
You didn't
about-
Never
have to be
answers
ready.
first. This is special.
I know.
Next time that we talk, I will absolutely be. I'll make sure that I'm in the order that answers first because I never really thought of that. That's not fair, right? But I guess what? I'm ready. So I've read enough in Violence and Vigilance to know that's where I want to go. There's this big festive dinner where people are talking politics near the beginning of the book.
Oh yeah, Veritas' court.
Yes, and the way that you describe the food that is being passed around by the servants,
The thralls,
or the
yes.
the thralls, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you really hit home that savory. I love fat and steak and stuff like that, and I feel like you really hit that side of my taste home. So
Well, thank
that's
you.
my answer.
Now you got to be in one of the higher seats, because if you're in one of the lower seats, you're going to get an empty dish with grease and bones on it, and then you'll be kind of shit out of luck. So do right, act right by Vretos, and then go to the court, and then
Exactly. They bring in these dishes, and you talk about like dripping fat or like the hard skin. And me, I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I go to a hog roast, I'm taking some of that crispy skin for sure. So we'll go opposite way this time. DB.
Okay, I think I'm going to go classic. Doff my cap to the classics and say Middle Earth. I think if Tolkien hadn't have written food in the way that he wrote food, I don't think it would be a kind of an element in fantasy today, if I'm honest. Because
probably true.
It's a bit strange that we fixate on food so much in fantasy. It's all good, but it's a weird thing that came from our forefathers. And I think Tolkien did it beautifully. So I would be sat in some little circular hobbit hole stuff in my face.
Their pantries in the movies. I haven't read the books yet. Their pantries in the movies, like the Hobbit the first Hobbit movie, they go in and raid that pantry. Man, just the finest.
Yeah.
His pantry is nuts. I don't know what he's doing with all that food. He's one dude.
Yeah, the cheese wheels, the
Cheese
cured
wheels,
sausage,
meat, all that stuff. That's a great answer.
All right, David.
Okay, I can't remember a specific scene of this, and I was afraid I was going to steal Daryl's answer. I'm glad you answered first, Daryl. But Buckkeep from Realm of the Elderlings, that is a thing when Robin Hobb writes about. So, for example, Assassin's Apprentice, when she writes about, because the boy coming up, he comes from nothing. He's got nothing. But so one of the things that he values in that castle is the food, and going through, and there's a baker who's in there, and she makes bread. But to be honest, whenever Robin starts talking about food in the Realm of the Elderlings, it's always just sounds amazing. And there's this brandy that I feel like Fitz drinks with gosh, what's his name? The Fool. Like they share brandy. Eventually, in some of the later trilogies and so on, there's this brandy they drink. But Buckkeep sounds very accommodating of a place to go for a festivity. It sounds like the tables are just stacked. Let's assume Prince Regal is not there. Let's assume that he's already gone. No Prince Regal to ruin the freaking night. But otherwise, it's welcoming, and the food there sounds delicious.
My kids are being crazy, so they're in the bath just kind of having fun, I guess.
Don't sweat it. Kids are kids.
All right. So, Tom.
Yeah, it's actually a tough question. I regret asking it now.
Whose idea was this?
Maybe it's a cop out, but I mentioned this when we were in the green room before the episode. Redwall Abbey. just Brian Jack's way of describing the feast in fantasy is unbeaten for me. Yeah, all the foraged mushrooms, the freshly baked bread, your nutty ales. Oh man, that'd be such a good Christmas dinner if they did one. So yeah, I'm going to Red Wall and growing my whiskers, and I'm chowing down.
try to fit in.
I am such a huge fan
I'm
of
one of you.
like fresh baked bread, though. That like if you're making that in your fantasy novel, then that's where I'm hypothetically going on my transportation into your fantasy world. Love baked bread, white bread especially.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so something that these guys have a lot of experience with that I can't wait to learn more about is tabletop role-playing games. Just kind of look into a little bit of the future of the four Beardsmen of Bookpocalypse. Tom, would you kind of touch on a little bit of what we'll be doing in the future as far as talking about that or actually doing the damn thing?
Yeah, we obviously have our ideas, but also we put it out to everyone who's very kindly watching and has been very active in the chat today. Thank you so much for sharing this Christmas, Eve with us.
For sure.
But yeah, if you want to see anything in particular, if you want to see us try out different RPGs, if you just want us to do a campaign, we'd love to do something like that and share it with you guys. So we just had a general idea of maybe we'll pick up a few different indie RPGs, throw some weight behind them, and see if you guys like it.
Yes, and
and also we learned that Matt has never played anything like D&D before.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. Keep in mind that it'll be my very first experience live here playing, because I really think we should do that. We should do a campaign just so I can have that first experience. And what a hell of an experience to do it with all of you guys.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It would be cool. And we're thinking like, a little snippet per episode, a little section where we either progress in a campaign or maybe there's a whole, just a bite-sized campaign that we were able to do, puzzle room or just a whatever it might happen to be. We're tossing ideas around.
Absolutely. So we mentioned at the beginning of this a question that you may have been pondering these last 92 minutes. A question that you would like us to answer at the beginning of our next meeting, our next live. So if you have answers to that, I'll give you some time to pop those in the chat. The one that we did today was John A. Douglas's which author or character would you fight in a cage match and would you win? That's what we opened up first or with this time. And we kind of want another one. We really like that idea. It's actually really fun.
Drop in the comments or send it to us on the socials or in the YouTube comments if you're watching not live.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to seeing that one. We'll vote on it, and then we'll open up the next live with who asked the question and the question itself. So, man, this has been so much fun. Again, I apologize for the kids. They're crazy. There's 4 of them.
It's all good.
And I've just had so much fun. So I just thank you to the 3 of you again, man. I just love doing this. And thank you guys for watching. Haven't they been awesome?
Comments are great.
I'm loving the comments, and they're not quite as distracting as I thought they would be. I keep having to shut it off so my ADD just can focus.
You'll get better at it.
I'll get better.
I was terrible at first, but yes, the kids are getting ever more crazy.
Questions are coming. Check questions. Oh, juicy
okay,
questions.
let's check a couple out.
Oh man.
We've got it's Ryan that says, "What element would you bend in the world of Avatar?"
Nice
cool.
question.
Nice. I want to read one. I want to read.
Yes, thank you.
Who would? Oh, there you go. If you could pick any weapon from fantasy you've read to wield yourself, which would you choose? I want to expound on that if we choose it, and this is in a life or death situation. So not to have in your pocket, and you're not just walking around town being a badass with it. You're trying to survive.
I like that. So for the kids getting a little more nuts in here, I'm going to kind of close it up. And we will be absolutely checking out all your questions in the comments and stuff like that.
Yep.
If you think of it afterwards, DM us or just get a hold of any one of us. Comment in the YouTube space, any which way, and we will vote
before
on
we
it.
go, we have one very special announcement.
Oh,
We
yes,
are
do.
going to appear in TBRCon 2024 in January.
Mm,
A live episode of the
Man.
Bookpocalypse.
that is going to be so fun. I was so happy to know that we were kind of thought of.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
So more on that, our next chat, and along with the question and a bunch of other fun stuff. So thank you guys, my co-hosts, and thank you guys for watching live. And if you watch in the future, thank you as well. Like, share, subscribe, of course, because that just is going to help this podcast grow that we do together.
Final thought.
Of course.
We got to get Matt to 1,000 subscribers before 2024.
Yes.
He's close to it. It's not a problem. We can make it happen. Share this stuff. Get Matt to 1,000 subscribers. He's earned it. He's interviewed literally every indie author that's alive. And if he hasn't, he's on his way to. And also non-indie authors, traditionally pub authors.
Thank you, David.
Let's get him up to 1,000.
Yeah.
That's what I want for Christmas is 1,000 subscribers. So thank
Yes,
you, David. And I'll leave you guys with a wonderful comment, Nick Horvath. We will see you guys next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yes, have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And, sorry, not the last thing. Like, share, subscribe. And tonight, I know in the UK it'll be a little too late, but tonight at 9, I have the amazing Sarah Chorn. Talk about some information going to be getting learned on, I guess is the way to say it. I'm going to be asking some questions.
So Matt has interviewed every single indie author, and Sarah has edited every single indie author.
Awesome. Good grief. Dream team.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to pick her brain on, well, some personal questions that I have for my writing journey and some questions that I think the community will want. So tonight at 9 Eastern, that will be going down. So I'll officially do it again. This is us saying goodbye. Nick Horvath's 1,000 Let's Go comment, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.